Hey, welcome back. This is episode 3 of the Salesforce Agentforce Masterclass. Today, Einstein Copilot versus Custom Autonomous Agents, Enterprise Architecture Blueprint. Demystifying security contexts, execution loops, and architectural trade-offs in Agentforce. Let's get into it. Here's what we're covering today. Assistive versus autonomous paradigms, fundamental differences then, security and identity architecture, user context versus dedicated agent personas then, trigger paradigms, UI-bound Sidekick versus multi-channel event ingestion then, reasoning lifecycles, deterministic single-turn versus autonomous multi-turn loops then, action authorization and guardrail mechanisms then, session management, memory persistence and context windows then, architectural decision matrix, when to build copilots. Versus autonomous agents then, enterprise blueprint, hybrid coexistence in high-volume service orgs. Stay for the last one, it's the piece most tutorials miss. Let me explain this simply. Many architects mistakenly assume Einstein Copilot and custom Agentforce agents are just different marketing terms for the same engine. In reality, they operate on completely distinct execution topologies, security profiles, and reasoning lifecycles. Today, we will dissect how assistive and autonomous architectures diverge under the enterprise hood.
I thought Copilot was just an internal chatbot and custom agents were for external customers. What actually changes in the underlying execution and security model?
Think of Einstein Copilot as a world-class copilot sitting directly beside your employee, requiring constant feedback and manual confirmation before taking any real flight action. Custom Agentforce agents, on the other hand, act as an autonomous autopilot system that receives high-level mission goals and executes multi-step workflows entirely unattended. While Copilot is intrinsically bound to human-in-the-loop validation within the Salesforce CRM workspace, custom agents are built to proactively resolve customer requests across headless endpoints. As an enterprise architect, you must recognize that moving from assistive to autonomous fundamentally alters liability, state management, and fail-safe orchestration. This transition marks the boundary between reactive digital productivity aids and true proactive enterprise labor. The most critical architectural differentiator between Copilot and custom agents lies in identity context and record-level authorization. Einstein Copilot executes strictly within the authenticated user session, inheriting the employee's exact profiles, permission sets, sharing rules, and field-level security constraints. Conversely, custom autonomous agents execute under a dedicated agent user persona running with system-governed or scoped elevated privileges across enterprise boundaries. If an internal representative lacks access to view financial balance fields, Copilot respects that boundary natively and suppresses the data from prompt grounding. An autonomous customer-facing agent, however, requires architected data isolation rules, row-level session scoping, and robust zero-trust validation before invoking actions. How your AI solution wakes up and starts processing requests determines its core infrastructure topology. Einstein Copilot is inherently UI-bound, awakening only when an employee opens the Lightning console side panel, highlights a record, or issues an interactive/command. In stark contrast, custom Agentforce agents are decoupled event listeners capable of processing real-time webhooks, WhatsApp inbound streams, SMS, and platform events. When a telemetry alert arrives from an IoT device or an urgent customer message hits an external API, custom agents spin up instantly in the cloud backend. They do not wait for an employee to log into Salesforce, delivering sub-second response times across omni-channel contact channels. When you examine the cognitive lifecycle under the Atlas engine, the execution loop divergence becomes remarkably clear. Einstein Copilot typically follows a short, single-turn evaluation model designed to summarize data, generate drafting suggestions, or invoke a single confirmation dialog. Custom agents employ continuous react orchestration loops, where the agent repeatedly reasons, calls an action, evaluates the output, and self-corrects until the target objective is solved. If an API call fails during an autonomous agent session, the engine can autonomously invoke a secondary fallback flow or verify alternate inventory without halting the session. This multi-turn cognitive resilience allows custom agents to conquer complex, nonlinear business workflows that would completely stall standard interactive copilots. How do we prevent an AI system from making devastating, unauthorized enterprise mistakes? In Einstein Copilot, safety is primarily enforced by visual confirmation modals where the human user clicks approve before any persistent DML or external REST call fires. Because custom autonomous agents lack a human spectator to click verification buttons, guardrails must be programmatic, deterministic, and embedded directly into the action schema. We implement strict input validation filters, threshold spending limits, idempotency keys, and automated supervisory routing rules before the agent executes irreversible business transactions. You are transitioning trust from a human-in-the-loop approval step to automated cryptographic and policy-based architectural constraints. Session management separates transient conversational toys from resilient enterprise architectures. A Copilot session is ephemeral, typically bound to the browser's active window state, and cleared when the user navigates across records or closes their workspace tab. Custom Agentforce agents, however, maintain durable conversational session state across long-running, multi-day customer interactions. If a customer chats via SMS, pauses for 3 hours, and resumes via web chat, the agent retrieves the unified conversation memory, resolved entities, and pending fulfillment tokens from Data Cloud. Mastering how context windows are trimmed, summarized, and hydrated from vector databases is vital for minimizing LLM token consumption while maintaining flawless continuity. When evaluating your enterprise requirements, how do you decide whether to configure Copilot or deploy a custom autonomous agent? Follow this strict CTA decision framework. If the workflow requires employee discretion, handles highly sensitive unconstrained negotiation, or acts as a desktop accelerator, choose Einstein Copilot. If the process is customer-facing, high-volume, event-driven, or follows structured operational policies like order status, Tier 1 technical support, or lead qualification, build a custom agent. Combining the two paradigms gives you an unbeatable architecture where custom agents handle frontline volume, and Copilot supercharge the escalation specialists who receive complex edge cases. Align your architectural selection with business risk, SLA velocity, and channel availability. Let us bring everything together into an end-to-end enterprise blueprint showcasing both systems collaborating in harmony. A customer initiates an inquiry over WhatsApp, immediately intercepted by a custom autonomous service agent running against Data Cloud unified profiles. The agent autonomously authenticates the customer, verifies billing records via MuleSoft, and successfully resolves payment issues using deterministic flows. When the customer requests an exceptional contract renegotiation, the agent seamlessly escalates the session, packaging the entire conversation summary directly into an internal Service Cloud case. The Tier 2 account executive opens the record, where Einstein Copilot instantly drafts a tailored contract amendment based on the escalated transcript for rapid one-click approval. Alright, let's wrap up. Here are the key things to remember. Einstein Copilot operates within authenticated user security contexts, while custom agents utilize dedicated headless agent personas. Copilot requires human-in-the-loop approval modals. Custom agents demand programmatic guardrails and deterministic validation layers. Custom autonomous agents rely on multi-turn React loops capable of self-correction, whereas copilots focus on discrete assistive actions. Enterprise best practices implement a hybrid model, custom agents handle frontline external volume, and Copilot empowers internal escalations. If this helped, hit like, it really helps the channel. Next up, Pre-built agents deep dive, SDR, sales coach, and service agent architecture. See you tomorrow.